Hello, happy souls. Welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Twins 1111. Okay, guys, so we've got a close-up of the piles here for you just to make it easier for you to choose. You can pause the video here if you want and meditate on the piles, or just choose whichever one you're drawn to. On the left, we've got the Wild Unknown Tarot with a piece of auralite. Next to it, we've got the Starchild Tarot with a hexagon quartz, the Light Seers Tarot with Lemurian quartz, and the Crystal Unicorn Tarot with amethyst. If you're drawn to more than one pile, perhaps you need to watch more than one pile. There's no right or wrong way to choose. You can either just see which one you feel drawn to or look at the timestamps which are in the comments below. I personally like to choose from the timestamps, but don't worry about it. And remember to make a note in the comments of which pile you've watched, because they are timeless readings. They all go into playlists. So if you come back later with a question, there could be another pile that's perhaps not ready for you now, but will be right for you next time. So I'm just going to zoom out so we can see more. Beautiful. I'm sorry that yesterday's video had my head bobbing around in it. I do apologise. And I just want to say a big thank you to whoever sent me this deck. This is the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. They arrived yesterday, but unfortunately there was no note with them, so I don't know who they're from. So thank you so much to the kind soul that sent me these. I love receiving cards. We're going to use these in today's reading. And if you would like to donate a deck to help keep my readings fresh, you can find a link to my Amazon wishlist in the description box below. And I just want to send out a shout out to all of you that have been sending love and healing to Made for Love. She should be coming out of hospital next week. She's doing much better. Every time I tune in to clear her, she is absolutely glowing. There is no doubt in my mind that all your healing vibes are reaching her and helping. So thank you so much. I'll put a link to her channel in the description box below as well, because you probably are missing her readings. They are timeless though, so now is a good time to go back into her kind of old videos, look through the archives and see if there's any readings that suit you. And of course, every click, every watch helps her generate revenue even while she's not working, because it's been a long time for her not to be working, and that really hits you in the pocket, right? So it's much appreciated if you're able to spend some time getting benefit from her videos. Just click on one advert or watch it for 30 seconds and she gets a little bit of revenue for that. I know you guys have been so generous in doing that for me. It really is so helpful, and it's how us guys get a small contribution for the free content we create. Okay, so before I start, just to let you know, I am going live on Sunday night. It was supposed to be last Sunday. I've moved it to this Sunday because I haven't been feeling great. But I'm going to be talking about twin flame connection checks. How did they work? How did I learn how to do that? What it means, all that kind of jazz. I'll be answering your questions, and I'll also be demonstrating some twin flame connection checks live. That is a prepaid service though. You can find information on my community page about how to book that. There aren't many slots left. It's $22.22 for a mini twin flame connection check, but check out my community page if you want more information. Do come and join us, because at the end of that live I'm going to be doing a meditation to help us tackle collectively this coronavirus stuff. Now I don't know about you, but it's certainly affecting me in my country here. I'm near London. My daughter's unwell and we are locked down on quarantine. They're not actually testing anyone here. They're just saying if you present symptoms, stay at home. So we're all keeping our fingers crossed, touching wood, that all of us are going to get through this, and I'm sending love to you as well. But I thought by coming together in a collective meditation, we can start sending some healing and immuno-boosting love around the world. So please do join me for that. Again, I'll put information on my community page. So let's do this. Part 1. Why is your person not communicating? What do they want to say to you? We're going to get some messages from them as well. But really we want to understand why they're silent, what's happening here. Now this may or may not be a twin flame. So it's not a necessarily twin focus reading. This could be for anybody. So let's have a look. And don't forget, you've still got time to book my classes. They're selling out fast. They do always sell out. So if you wanted to do them and you've been waiting on it, now is the time to book, because there aren't many places left. I offer mediumship for beginners, twin flame healing, tarot card reading for beginners, and there's another class for intermediates. I'm also teaching spirit release therapy this time around, and there are 2 webinars as well. One is for astral and twin flame telepathy, how to do it, and the other is how to connect with your own higher guidance, which I think is probably the most important one, especially if you're watching readings like this. You need to be able to to know which messages are meant for you. I know a lot of people struggle with that. They're only £11.11, so check them out, happystars1111.com. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I do post little readings there as well. And my channeled writing is quite different from my channeled verbal messages that come through on my YouTube. They're a bit more deep, I think. But you can find me on Instagram at happystars1111. Okay, pile one. We have got the Two of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Cups in reverse, the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, the Six of Wands in reverse, and the Seven of Swords in reverse. Okay. This person simply is not ready for a relationship. I believe that they're probably married with this King of Pentacles here. For some of you, if that's not the case, it's just that they're not ready for commitment, because the King of Pentacles is it's a very dependable, reliable, long-term kind of energy. But the fact that it's clarifying the Two of Cups in reverse here suggests to me this person either is not ready for that level of commitment, or they're already engaged in that kind of commitment elsewhere, and therefore they cannot engage with you. They're also very, very anxious. This person, like we've got the Seven of Cups here, clarifying the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords in this deck, you can see, is represented by this cocoon. And it's hanging from one sword surrounded by seven. Obviously, the Seven of Swords is a card of strategy, deception. It can be a sneaky energy. But I really feel like with this Eight of Swords, this person is just cocooned right now in their own thoughts. This is a card of anxiety. It's a card of self-limiting beliefs, a feeling of being stuck and not being able to see the wood for the trees. And I really feel like this person's just so much up in their head that, you know, they're still thinking about things. There's a lot of confusion here. The Seven of Cups is about illusions, decisions, options. And I feel like this person really is weighing it up. I'm picking up that there's a lot of regret here as well. They really wish that they had chosen you, is what's coming through. I do feel like there's definitely a third party here for some. Let me just get a clarifier. That's too many. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. This person's got a family. This person's married. This person's with somebody else. That's what it feels like. And the truth just hasn't been illuminated to them yet. Look at this card here. You see these Six Cups upright, and this seven of Cups, which is aligned with the Sun and the Moon, is upside down. The cup they want is out of reach. It just feels like they can't have it right now. They are trapped. You know, they're stuck in some other circumstance. And again, I feel for a lot of you, this is definitely that this person has a family. They have a significant partner already. Then they don't feel able to free themselves from that at the moment. The Wheel of Fortune clarified by the Six of Wands in reverse. This feels like this person knows that there's something very fated or destined about your connection, but they don't trust that. They don't trust that anything so beautiful and so lovely could ever be available to them, is what I'm hearing. And yet I do feel like this person sees, they see the truth of what's really occurring between you. They understand this is a really deep love. But it's such a tangled mess. They're so wrapped up in these other cycles they're in at the moment. You know, they're in the dark. This is a really interesting Wheel of Fortune, because we have this darkness around here, this kind of massive tangle, and then the light is illuminating it from the bottom, but there's all of this tangled mess it needs to pass through. And the colours here are orange, yellow and green, orange, yellow, green and red, which are the colours of the lower chakras, the earthly chakras. And what this is telling me is that someone really, your person still really needs to They still really need to figure out what's going on in their earthly realm. They haven't quite connected to their higher self and their own truth yet. There's an understanding, as I said, that this is destined or fated, but the logical part of themselves does dismiss that. They're not actually connecting with that wisdom, and they don't trust in this triumphant change. They don't recognize that this can be for them. With the Ace of Cups reversed, they really don't love themselves either. This is someone that's, perhaps a good provider, a good protector, but they feel hollow inside. They're not good at taking care of themselves. I feel like this person doesn't have a lot left over, a lot of time left over for themselves. This is someone who works really, really hard to support others and to provide for others, to meet the obligations of life. And with the Seven of Swords in reverse, I feel like they don't have any strategy for self-care at all. They don't know how to love themselves. They don't even know they're supposed to love themselves. This is just such an alien concept for them. I feel like this person's had a tremendous amount of dysfunction as well. I'm hearing that they were just generally unsupported in the family home. They were raised to kind of, in Britain we call it the stiff upper lip. You just carry on, keep calm and carry on. We don't mention our troubles. We don't dwell on our woes. It's just this energy of, stop complaining, just carry on. Of course, that's a bit of an old school mentality these days, but that's how it feels. This person was raised, that, they were given no outlet or forum to express themselves or their emotional self. So they're massively disconnected from their own emotional depths, is what I'm hearing. So this person just feels very stuck. I'm guessing that they think about you such an awful lot, but that they feel really, really stuck. They can't reach out. The Four of Cups, the Three of Wands in reverse, and the Page of Cups. So yeah, this person's just very insular right now. They're keeping their thoughts and their feelings close to their chest. They're not making any decisions. Again, with that Seven of Cups, it feels like they're still weighing things up. There's a lot of confusion, as I said, and a lot of regret, a lot of what-ifing, a lot of I wish I should have, or I should, all of these energies of just procrastination, ruminating about decisions they've made, and deliberating over decisions they need to make. They do want to reach out, is what I'm hearing. You bring joy to them. You bring colour into their life. You light up their heart space, is what I'm hearing. I'm really drawn to how this duckling is floating on the water, and its shadow actually casts all of these beautiful colours. And I feel like this person really feels like, in your eyes, there's still something brilliant. It means so much to them that you think so highly of them. I do think this person understands that you have this deep, unconditional love for them, and it really does light up their world. It makes them think that their shadow aspects aren't so bad after all. And this person really does have a dim view of themselves. I feel like they've not always been honest to their partner. I feel like they've not always been faithful, and they hold so much shame about this that, they've been really hit with that stick of you're a cheat and the betrayal and all of this. So they do hold a lot of shame for not having been true in that way. And I think this is also why they're reluctant to come forward and speak to you. They feel like they need to keep it all in, keep it all close to their chest, make no decisions. And of course we can see quite clearly this love triangle, which they're rejecting. This is the Three of Swords in reverse. They're saying, I can't go there. As much as I want to speak to you, as much as you light up my world, I just can't be in this predicament right now. So the Queen of Swords. This person thinks about you an awful lot. They recognise your divinity. They recognise your wisdom. I'm hearing this is someone that is kind of, they're not really into the woo-woo stuff. They're very practical. They're very level-headed. But they just absolutely adore how you talk about love and life. It really inspires them, is what I'm hearing. But they just can't invest in this right now. they can't make moves towards you. And I feel like you had a particularly passionate relationship. This is the Page of Wands, but you can see here it's represented by a snake in the figure of 8, which of course is a twin flame symbol of infinity. And we've got this very phallic symbol of the wand with so much growth around it, and it's in the dark. And I really feel like, you know, because their heart space is so blocked, this person really they express themselves on a very physical level. So I feel like the physical intimacy between you was very, very intense, and it has kind of helped them grow. It's helped you grow. You know, it's brought a lot of shadows to the surface to be healed. It's been very healing for both of you, albeit perhaps somewhat painful. But this person just feels like they have to close themselves off from this now. You know, they desperately want to communicate with you, but there's also this feeling of it's wrong, I can't do this, you know, I need to work out my own kind of situation. Look at that. So we've got 3 pages out, the Page of Pentacles. And this is a really divine feminine symbol, this female deer, in contrast to the stag that we had here with that King of Pentacles. And you can see here again we have that rainbow. Rainbow is a beautiful omen. It's a symbol of hope, balance, harmony. But for me, this card is also about apologies and forgiveness. You know, they really do want to communicate with you. I feel like this person really has to restrain themselves. I'm seeing them literally seeing funny things online that they want to share with you, listening to songs that they want to share with you, and feeling frustrated that they can't just reach out and have that casual, normal communication. But it feels like there's been an agreement that you should part company. I don't feel like this person just ghosted you. I feel like, you know, it was decided mutually that this situation cannot continue because it's painful for you, and it's painful for them because they know they're betraying their partner, they know they're being dishonest, but they want to speak to you so much. This person really longs for you. What do they want to say to you? What do they want to say to you but can't? Awakening. Look at that Judgment. This is so beautiful. It's represented here by this dove in the light, and look, all these birds shooting up out of the dark towards it. It's like opening its wings, you know, and calling them to peace. And this is what Judgment is. It's the card of awakening. It's the soul's call. And I think this person wants you to know that they do feel, you know, this shift in them. They really do feel this shift. They want you to know that they feel peaceful around you, that they know that, you know, you're triggering something big and beautiful happening to them in their life. This is really beautiful. The 8 of Wands. They really wish they could speak to you. Is what I'm hearing. They're hoping for some kind of divine intervention. They're hoping for something to happen that shifts the energies, that shifts their circumstances. I feel like this person really dreams about how things could be with you. They want you to know that they think about speaking with you all the time. And wands are also, you know, this is a very spiritual element here with wands represent fire. And I do feel like the 8 of Wands is about fast-moving messages, incoming messages, that this person, especially connected to the Judgment card, really does connect with you on an astral level, and that you need to make time to open yourself up to that and absorb that, because they don't necessarily know that it's real, but I feel like they find a tremendous amount of comfort in connecting to you in that way. I'm hearing as well that it hurts them to think how they may have been disloyal to you know, in relation to your innocence and your purity. They know that you see the truth, and they're sorry that they've not been more responsive to that. But I'm hearing it's just more than their sensibilities can cope with at this time. They're still growing at their own pace, and a lot of the concepts and ideas that you've shared with them are beyond their understanding. They're too much for their mind to integrate at this time, and they feel like they may have offended you. They feel they may have offended you by not being more receptive, but they want you to know that they do think about these things. They just can't integrate them in the way that you can. The 9 of Swords. They have sleepless nights about this. You know, they think of nothing else. I do think this person is probably moving into some kind of dark night of the soul as well. They're certainly very, very anxious. They're very stressed. They're very sad. As I said, this person holds a lot of regret and shame, and yet they feel so stuck. They don't know how to release themselves from this situation that they've got themselves into, this unhappy marriage, unhappy home life. You know, I'm hearing for some that even their career is not satisfying them anymore, and they've always been very materially motivated, you know, motivated by the desire to achieve and accomplish more. And even that isn't really bringing them any joy anymore. They're just feeling hollowed out and beaten. So this person's having a lot of sleepless nights. They want that new beginning with you. But they're asking you just to recognise that now is not the time. You know, there will be a new beginning, but there is so much healing that needs to happen first. The Chariot in reverse is about Chariot upright is about fast moving energy, you know, driving forward to create positive change. It's a very divine card. It's the number 7, and in reverse it's saying they can't do this right now. They can't move this forward right now. There's a higher power that's putting the brakes on it, and they just want you to be patient. The 2 of Wands is beautiful. You know, they want to choose you. They want to be devoted to you. I mean, for me, this really is a spiritual union card. It's reminding you that you're always connected. You're always connected in spirit. Illusion is a separation. The Knight of Cups in reverse and the Page of Swords. So again, they wish they could come towards you. They wish they could make a romantic offer. They wish they could communicate with you, but they need you to understand right now that these energies are blocked, and this is what you both mutually agreed. And it just doesn't serve either of you or your situation for them to be, you know, for them to be defying that, for them to defy, you know, what you agreed between you. Okay. Let's get one of these Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. We'll get one for each of you for guidance. What's the guidance for you? Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. And the Moon, take note of intuitive messages. We're going to get some charms as well. So we have got Don't Give Up, No Idea, a Diamond, the Tape Measure, and Love. So I'll bring those closer and show them to you in a moment. So Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. I'm so drawn to how much blue is in this card. Blue is the colour of truth. It's the colour of truthful, wise expression. And take note of the intuitive messages. And I feel after some of the cards came up as well that you two really need to focus on your astral connection right now, because your person's hands are genuinely tied. They can't release themselves from the situation they're in. There's unresolved lessons and karma there for them. And you can really find a lot of peace and comfort in the astral connection you have to one another. Remember, I am doing a class about this soon. If you're not sure how to astrally connect or to connect telepathically to your person, you know, this is something you can look into, because I feel both of these cards really assert the fact that this connection between you is strong and that you're getting all of these intuitive messages. We've got this full moon card here, and of course the moon was full in Virgo just a couple of days ago, and I feel like there's a portal kind of opened up to help you to connect at this higher level. And you know, the divine is also sharing messages with you to support you in your journey. I mean, this one says follow the voice of your soul. Again, I've also got a webinar about how to connect with your higher truth if you're unsure of how to kind of integrate these energies in this guidance. But I really feel like, you know, this is where you're going to find a lot of peace and comfort at the moment. It's in this fact that you know you are connected. And I said these readings weren't necessarily twin flaming, but this does feel like a very twin flame connection right now. If you're not twin flames, there's definitely a very high level soul connection here. There's definitely a very spiritual, very psychic connection between you. Okay, so let's have a look at the charms. The tape measure. So for me, and it's really interesting that it's measured at 10. You can see here it's pulled out to number 10, the number of completion. The tape measure, I feel like this is about making decisions, measuring things up, literally a measured approach. It's also about waiting and being patient, trying things on for size. I feel like this person's going through a kind of trial and error process or strategy. The strategy came up before in that they weren't sure, they didn't have a strategy. They don't know how to heal themselves. They don't know how to get to this process of completion. And they keep trying different ideas, rolling them around in their mind, trying to come up with a way of moving forward. And I feel like, they're very reluctant to do this wrong. They want to do this right. But the fact that this number 10 here is really, really important. As I said, 10 is the number of completion. We've had a couple of 10s come up with the Wheel of Fortune, also the 10 of Pentacles here. And I feel like it's just about them closing out cycles. But it's a question of time. It's about getting it right. Don't give up. And look, we've got another beautiful rainbow there. That symbol of hope, balance, harmony, wishes coming true. This person doesn't want you to give up on them. I feel like they're so worried that you're going to meet someone else, that you're going to move on. And they just want you to, to stick with it, to trust in the journey, to trust in yourself, to trust in your own divinity, to trust it's going to be okay. They're really afraid to lose you. No idea. Again, this person just can't compute or integrate the spiritual ideas that you've shared with them. They don't understand what this means to them. They don't understand how it impacts them. This person's still, whilst they're waking up, there's a gap here. There's a piece of the puzzle missing and they don't fully understand it. And I feel like this is why the astral connection is so important right now, because this is really going to reinforce your connection to them. It's going to help them recognize that you are always with them too, and that there's something really otherworldly about this connection, because that light hasn't come on yet. They still don't understand what it actually is between you. And I feel like, that information's coming, those messages are coming. The diamond, straight away I just can't help thinking shine bright like a diamond. You know that song? The colours here are really important as well. We've got green at the centre, which is the colour of the heart space. We've also got pink, which is a very spiritual colour. And this is connected by blue, purple and yellow. Blue is the colour of truth, purple the colour of the third eye, yellow the colour of our solar plexus and trigger centre. So I feel like this person really holds you in their heart space. They're beginning to download these truths. They're very triggered by this. But above all else, they really see you as this beautiful shining diamond in their life, a diamond in the rough, one in a million. They really do hold you in such high esteem. And I'm hearing for a lot of them, they struggle to communicate that to you. They don't know how to be true about that. They're not used to expressing themselves. As I said, this person has a lot of dysfunction in how they were raised and how they were taught to communicate. And they don't know how to share that with you. And look, in case you needed any more affirmation, love. This person really does love you. And they know this is a deep spiritual love. They probably know there's some kind of soulmatey connection here. They just don't know how to integrate it. As I said, they don't understand the details. And again, I feel that the spiritual concepts you've shared with them have been too much for them to bear. They just don't understand it at this stage. So I really hope that helps part one. Unfortunately, there's no extended read today because I'm a bit short on time. But thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you also for watching at least one of the adverts. It really helps to keep my channel going. I appreciate you guys so much. 30 seconds of your time in return for the video is a small price to pay. I'm sure you would agree, and I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, part two. Why isn't your person communicating? Let's have a look. And whilst I'm shuffling part two, don't forget that you can book my classes online at the moment. They're selling like hotcakes, so they will be sold out soon. So if you've been wanting to do any of my classes, don't leave it to the last minute. I get so many emails at the last minute from people saying, oh, I really wanted to do this class Have you got any more room? But they do sell out, and once they're sold out, they're sold out. But I'm teaching mediumship for beginners, tarot reading for beginners, tarot reading for intermediates, twin flame energy healing, and there are 2 one-off classes and webinars there that are just £11.11 each. So do check them out at happysouls1111.com. Okay, let's have a look. 4 of Pentacles in reverse, the Empress in reverse, the 2 of Cups, 9 of Cups in reverse, the 7 of Crystals in reverse, that's Pentacles, the 2 of Wands in reverse, the Ace of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. I'm just going to pull a clarify here. The Star. Okay, why is this person not communicating with you? Honestly, I feel like this person hasn't been entirely honest about who they are and where they're at in their life. This feels like someone who's actually struggling a lot with how they feel about life. Not just love, but life in general. They probably have anxiety or depression. You know, there's a state of mind that impacts on their well-being and their circumstances way more than they've let on to you. And I feel like this person's really tried to keep a brave face on it. You know, this person's been wearing a mask to try and conceal the truth of who they are, because they're afraid that if you know, you won't care about them anymore. We've got the 9 of Cups here, clarified by the 7 of Swords. You know, they're just not being honest about their mental state. This person doesn't feel very fulfilled right now. They feel very emotionally unbalanced, and they just don't want you to see them this way. They don't trust themselves to interact in a healthy way when they're coming from this state of mind. And they don't know how to let go and move forward. You know, they don't know how to make themselves better. And I understand that they want to choose you, and they really think about choosing you all the time. You know, this is their wish. This is what they daydream about. But they just don't know how to move forward. But they know you are their true person. We've got the 2 of Cups here, clarified by the Ace of Swords. You know, this person knows that you are their person. They know that you are meant for them. They feel this very strongly. They've integrated this as being their truth. But they are so anxious right now that you're going to find out what they're really like, and they're absolutely convinced that when you do, you know, you won't feel the same way about them. So there's a lot of smoke and mirrors here. There's a lot of effort trying to be made to try and appear you know, more than what they actually are. And this is probably in relation to very material things. You know, it could be their work, it could be, you know, just the whole financial status. This person really wanted to impress you. So it may not be the case that they've not just been honest. It's not lies by omission, but I feel like they may have directly told you some lies about it. You know, really bigged up their job, really bigged up their circumstances, because they just really wanted to impress you. And I don't think they understood how deep this connection was going to go. I thought they thought it would just be a passing fancy and that it wouldn't last. They didn't expect to develop feelings or to want something more from you. And now they feel stuck. They don't know how to let go of all these untruths. They don't know how to unravel and start over from a fresh beginning. You know, they feel really overwhelmed. They feel really embarrassed, is what I'm hearing as well, that they haven't been completely honest with you. The Knight of Wands in reverse, the 9 of Wands in reverse, and the Queen of Wands in reverse. So yeah, this person's feeling very disempowered. You know, it's not that so much that they've given up, but they don't know how to move forward. This feels like a pause in time. You know, they're not feeling very enthusiastic or motivated about life. I genuinely feel this person probably has depression. You know, this is a very apathetic energy. This is an energy that kind of lacks enthusiasm or motivation. They don't know where they're going or what to do with life. They feel like they have nothing to offer you, and that you deserve so much more than who they are. And again, it just comes through so strong, pardon me, that if you found out what they're really like, you wouldn't be as interested. I feel like this person did just ghost you. You know, they just didn't speak anymore. They were unreliable. They blew hot and cold, and eventually they just stopped communicating. They feel really sad about this and they do want to apologise to you, but they don't know how. Again, it comes back to this not knowing how to unravel the mess they've made. And they also have convinced themselves that you're probably not as interested in them anyway. Yeah, so with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse there, you know, they really don't have a lot of hope that this relationship could actually go anywhere. They don't see you as being someone that would honestly entertain someone like them if you knew the truth about who they were. They really see you as just being too good for them. The Magician. This person is so focused on their earthly accomplishments. You know, they really believe that to be worthy, they have to be someone, they have to do something, they have to have a certain way of living. And I do feel like this is what they're waiting to happen for them before they make a move. And in the current energy, that's completely impractical, because I don't think they're in a state of mind that's going to allow them to make those steps forward. But they do want that new beginning. They're kind of convinced themselves that if only they could get the right job, you know, the right home, all of these different things, then they could pick up where they left off with you. Yeah, so, you know, they don't want to give up. But this person has kind of messed you around. They've played games with you. They've blown hot and cold. They've not been straight with you. And you've probably taken it really personally, but it's honestly for no other reason that, you know, they don't know how to face their own web of lies. It really is honestly that simple. Akashic Records. So I'm going to clarify for that. This is a bonus card in this deck. Wow, King of Pentacles. This person believes they're like destined for something big, and I feel like they've been chasing it their whole life. You know, it's kind of been their primary focus. They feel like they can't be who they need to be without it. They feel like it defines them. And because they don't feel good enough about themselves, they just can't open themselves up to, you know, allowing someone else to think they're good enough either. It's like they don't even they don't even take that risk. I feel like this person doesn't really have relationships. You know, they're probably intimacy avoidant. This is probably a usual pattern for them, in that they come in all hot and passionate and then they vanish again when things start to get a bit real. And it's because they want it all, or they don't want it at all. You know, they don't want to be some guy that's not good enough. They'd rather be alone and wait until they are good enough, is the energy of what I get here. The Ten of Swords, and they are in a lot of pain. As I said, I think this person definitely has some kind of depression, some kind of anxiety. You know, it's really sad because they are very misguided. You know, a lot of people would judge them because they don't have these things, but you won't. But they don't know that. You know, they don't know this about you. They're so afraid of that judgment. I feel like this person's always been judged. You know, this person's had a lot of pain in childhood as well, where they were constantly told they weren't good enough, and it's just made them want to be successful, to be, you know, they've convinced themselves that that's what's going to make them feel whole and happy, is this independence, this success, this abundance. They haven't learned yet that that's not true. They haven't learned that there's so much more than that, and they've got the whole world in their hands. And that, you know, they're not defined, their worth isn't defined by the opinions of others or their accomplishments. Nine of Swords in reverse. I feel like this person has nightmares or dreams about, you know, failure, and this anxiety and this depression that they've been going through. They're kind of on the outer edge of that pain. It's like they're moving away from that pain, you know, but it's a slow process. It's a really slow process. So what do they want to say to you? Strength. The Emperor in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse. And the Ten of Wands. They want you to know that they just need to build up their strength. You know, they're trying to take responsibility for themselves, but they're not in control right now, and they don't feel safe coming forward while they're not in control. They'd love to date and party and just have fun and just all of those things that seem so normal and easy to everyone else. But these things, you know, the confidence and the desire to just press forward and just have that life just eludes them, because they're so wrapped up and so trapped in this idea that they have to be something more, something bigger. But they see you as being so strong. They see you as being so strong. For some of you, I feel like you're what I would describe as an alpha female as well. You know, you're very strong and powerful yourself, and this really intimidates them. It really triggers them. It really triggers their own inferiority complex. You know, in their mind, they're very traditional, and they, you know, for them, it feels like the man should be taking that role. And if you look here, you've got that male lion in strength and the female lion in the emperor, which is that masculine energy, but it's reversed. You know, they just stood next to you. They don't feel like they're in their power. They don't feel confident at all. They see you as being so much better than them. And they want you to know they wish they could kind of release this. They really want that fulfillment with you. They intuitively know you're the person for them. And even to themselves, it seems illogical that they hold back. But this desire to be something, to be someone, is so big, it overwhelms everything else. It overwhelms all other desires. They don't see that they could be victorious with you right now. They feel like they'd rather risk losing you than having you and being rejected by you. But they are thinking about how to come forward. They do want to take responsibility. You know, they're trying to get creative about how they can make changes in their life. I have to say, these are obviously changes that are going to satisfy them and their soul. These are the changes they think they need to make for this to be okay. You know, that is misguided. They're obviously on the wrong track, but this is how this person's feeling. I've got the Six of Pentacles there as well. And again, they've had to turn their back on you because they don't know. They don't know how to give you what you want. They don't have the resources to their mind to give you what you want. You know, they don't see that you just want their time, love and attention. They feel like they have to give so much more because that's the role of a man. That's the role of a provider, protector. They're not recognising that there is more to life than this. And I'm hearing for some of you as well that actually you hold these very traditional beliefs. You know, there is a call to you as well to recognise how you help these beliefs kind of stay alive, because deep down you know, you may feel this. You may also have been raised that the man is the protector, the provider, and you know, deep down you want someone to care for you, and they're picking up on this energy. That won't be true for all of you, and I don't say it to shame you, but it's an opportunity for you to heal and to identify your own expectations in a relationship and where they might be healthy or unhealthy, and you know, could do with being adjusted. Starseed. This is a beautiful card to come out. You know, I'm hearing that this person really does feel you. You're on their mind all of the time. You know, this person does recognise that there's something lovely and divine and just special about your connection. They really do see you as someone that's just got so much light and so much love. They're completely in awe of who you are. But look, with death in reverse, they're not ready. They're not ready for this. They haven't achieved what they want to. They've not come to those conclusions yet. They've not moved through their own transformation. And we've got the Eight of Wands here. They want to communicate with you. They really want to communicate you. They want to be with you passionately. You know, this person really misses you, but again, they get stuck in that indecision because of this silly predicament they've created themselves with pointless lies that they've told. So let's get some oracle cards for you as well, and some charms. So again, I don't know who this deck was from. Thank you so much to whoever sent this to me. I'm really grateful. All right, we're going to get two of these for guidance. I'm going to pull some charms for you as well. Autumn, release the old and rest. White Witch, be the light. Oh, we've got a few too many here. I'm going to put these small ones back. We have got the Web, Fake, No Idea, Hard Times, the Moth and Rose Quartz. So let's start with autumn. Release the old and rest. I really feel like you need to accept this period of no contact and separation, and just understand that it's a time of transformation. You know, autumn is when everything kind of leaves us, isn't it? Everything starts winding down, hibernating, out with the old, in with the new. And I think you just need to understand that the energy between you two wasn't right. For whatever reasons, it just wasn't right, and change needs to occur in order that you can move forward in a really productive way. This person's definitely going through some kind of powerful change and rebirth. They might even be experiencing a dark night of the soul with all of that anxiety and depression that was coming through there. You know, they are questioning life, but they are still very much firmly grounded in their ego consciousness, those lower levels of consciousness in which they think they have to be this big man. But you're being guided to find your own light, find your own wisdom. And I'm really drawn to the fact that, you know, in this card, there's also a moth here in her hair. You know, this is about your transformation as well. This is about you connecting with your own wisdom and your own divinity, and trusting that this separation came at a time that you both needed it. So let's start with the charms. The web. He really has tangled himself up in this web. He really does feel stuck. He doesn't know how to say to you, I've told some stupid lies. He doesn't know how to unravel all of these dramas, and so he stays stuck. Look at that, fake news. And I feel like he said so many silly things that weren't true, that even he can't remember what he said and what he hasn't. You know, this really affirms that a lot of the things he said weren't true. They were designed to impress upon you how fabulous he was. You know, he felt he needed to make things up or exaggerate things so that you would like him. And he feels like a fake. You know, he feels like an absolute fool. He doesn't know how to tell you that. For him, it just feels like he's screwed it all up and there's no going back from that. How do you turn around and say to someone, I'm really sorry, I lied about that? You know, he just feels too ashamed and too embarrassed. Hard times. And where's it? No idea. You know, I really feel like he is going through it right now, and he has no idea how to fix this. He has no idea how to come forward. These are really intense and painful energies. But, you know, as this moth reminds us, and that death card that came up, that Scorpio energy, even though he's not ready for it now. Look, we've got the rose quartz here. And we've got this beautiful moth. You know, this is all about powerful transformation. This is being about drawn to the light. And remembering too that we had these two cards, Autumn and the White Witch. Remember, be the light. That's what he's being drawn to with this moth energy. You know, the moth is being drawn back to the light, but you need to allow that period of rest and transformation for him. You need to be patient. And the rose quartz is a really beautiful symbol. You know, this reminds you that there is love there and that you can ground that love, but you just need to be patient and wait for this transformation to happen, to be your own light. I really hope that helps, part 2. Sending you lots and lots of love and thanks for watching my videos. Oh, just jog the camera there. Every little helps. I really appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Do check out my website. Do hit the like button and subscribe if you want to receive notifications about when my videos will be available again. And I'll see you really soon. Okay, pile 3. The Light Seers Tarot with the Lemurian quartz. Why is your person not communicating? And what do they want to say to you? And whilst I'm shuffling, just to remind you that my classes are nearly full up. So if you're thinking of doing one of those, now is the time to sign up before they're completely sold out. There are classes: Mediumship for Beginners, How to Connect with Your Spirit Guides, Twin Flame Energy Healing, Tarot Cards for Beginners, Tarot Reading for Beginners, Spirit Release Therapy, which is for practicing mediums only. And there's a couple of webinars as well. If you didn't want to commit to a long-term course, these are one-off classes. They're only £11.11 each. We've got one for astral and telepathic astral and telepathic communication for twin flames. And we have another one for how to connect your own higher truth, which I think is the most important one. That's the one that's going to serve you in all that you do. But you can find those on my website, happysouls1111.com. Okay, let's do this. Why isn't your person communicating? We've got strength. We've got justice in reverse. We've got the Tower. We've got the Sun in reverse. 5 of Swords. The Emperor. The Hanged Man. And the 6 of Wands. Feels like there's been some kind of standoff, conflict or confrontation between you, and this person's being stubborn, but I'm hearing that so are you. This person really wants to stay in control, and I feel like you need to stay in control. This is a battle of wills, and things are really out of balance between you, but you're really mirroring one another, and I don't think you realise how much you're mirroring one another, but it definitely feels like there's been some really aggressive, angry confrontation between you that's left you both feeling very stressed, but it's also made you feel empowered. It feels like, you're standing up for yourself. I'm not taking this anymore. It's that kind of energy. It's very indignant, but he's in this energy too, and so there's been an impasse. This is a stalemate with both parties refusing to compromise, to apologise, to try and offer an olive branch. It feels like you're both just at a stalemate, that communication is suspended because no one wants to take action. Both of you want to win an argument. No one wants to take responsibility for what's happened between you. So this does feel like, I'm so sorry about my dog. Pip, please. So this does feel like it's a bit of an impasse, like neither party wanting to back down. And I do feel like whatever this, in fact, let's get some information, because not just because you need to know, because I'm quite nosy. What was this argument about? So we've got 3 of Pentacles, King of Swords in reverse, 9 of Wands in reverse. So this is a really specific message. It's not going to be relevant to all of you, but I really feel like this was an argument about work, about working together, about someone perhaps trying to dominate you, about someone trying to push you into decisions. Maybe they didn't want you to work together anymore because it was too complicated for your relationship. They wanted you to give up something, or you wanted them to give up something. It feels like, with this 3 of Pentacles, this could be strongly related to some of you to working together and the stresses or conflict that may have caused between you. It could be that that one of you has left, and this is what's created the conflict, where you felt like you've had to leave your place of work. So I feel like it came from a good place. I feel like this conflict, even though it escalated quite quickly and became quite dark, I feel like initially both of you were just actually trying to bring peace and balance back to the connection, to create positive transformation, positive change. But somewhere there was miscommunication, somewhere there was misunderstanding, and both of you got triggered. Both of you chose to assert yourself in the way which you've learned in childhood, which is with force, with aggression, with demands, with threats even. And it's resulted in this kind of silence between you. I feel like both of you are silent. Maybe someone's blocked someone here as well. But it does feel like this was an argument about what the other should do. This was both parties trying to be in control, trying to adjust the circumstances between them. Really interesting energies. We've got the Hermit in reverse, the 3 of Wands in reverse, 7 of Pentacles in reverse, and the King of Wands. So again, we've got a lot of Lion energy here. There's a lot of pride. There is so much pride in this connection. We could be dealing with fire signs because we've got Leo come out twice, and we've also got a lot of Aries energy here. So it really does feel like neither one of you wants to back down. There is so much pride. Both people are being stubborn. Neither person is prepared to reinvest in the growth of this connection. And I feel like you're cutting off your nose to spite your faces, because neither of you really wants to be on your own at this time. I feel like you're really missing one another, but neither one of you is prepared to put your ass on the line and embrace the fulfillment that you want and speak authentically about it. It feels like you're both really reluctant to wear your heart on your sleeves. You're reluctant to allow yourself to be vulnerable. You're reluctant to allow your emotions to get in the way of this conflict and this need to be respected, and for that respect to be acknowledged, for an apology to be acknowledged. It really does feel like there's been a massive battle of wills here. And again, you know, with the devil in reverse. And I do think, again, this was about control. In this card, you see this man literally holding a person as puppet on strings. And I feel that's what it was about, that one or the other wasn't making decisions that suited the other. And there was some kind of, you know, disagreement surrounding what you or he or they should do. A lot of very confused energy, but definitely a fight for control with a lot of pride in the way here. And a lot of fear of getting deep into emotion. I feel like both of you are afraid of your emotional depths. This is a relationship which hasn't quite got off the ground, because even though there's intense, fiery chemistry there, it feels like neither of you will allow yourselves to actually sink deeply into your own emotions. You don't want to feel them. It feels too risky. It feels too scary. You certainly don't feel like you can speak up and reveal them. And so this creates a lot of fear and uncertainty in the connection. Neither party knows where they stand. Neither party knows, you know, what's meant to be happening here. And so your barriers are up. You know, both of you have more than boundaries, you have barriers. You know, these are brick walls designed to keep people out. It feels like both of you have been hurt in the past. And, you know, you've got this wall around your heart. So a major standoff here. It does feel as well like neither one of you has the emotional maturity to go in and deal with your own part of this internally. And I don't say that to shame you or to judge you, you know, just to bring to your attention where you can make improvements here. Because it does feel like there needs to be a lot of inner reflection for both of you. And whilst you're apart, you know, if you're going to come back together, it's going to need both of you to come at it from a calmer place, from a place of self-awareness where you can be accountable for how you've contributed to this, and you can operate from a place of emotional maturity and truth, which I feel neither of you is in the position to do at the moment. But there is love here. You know, I feel like you both feel like that. You know, this person definitely feels like that. There is love here. It's just contained. And neither one of you knows how to release it. Neither one of you knows how to embody it. So let's see what this person wants to say to you. The Star, the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Seven of Cups in reverse, the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Nine of Swords in reverse, and this one fell out, so we're going to keep it. So this person wants you to know that they do dream about you, they think about you all the time, but they don't know how to speak their truth. They honestly don't know how to be honest and real with you. They don't know how to smash the illusions that are just plaguing them and keeping them in this confused state. They don't know how to release anxiety, and they don't know what action to take. So this person wants you to know that they're just very stuck. They're very confused. They don't understand what's happening here. You know, this person has no clue of the depths of your feelings. And let's have a look. How does this person think you feel about them? The Chariot in reverse, the World in reverse. Oh, sorry, that's the Empress in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune, or the World in reverse, I beg your pardon. And the Ten of Swords. So yeah, this person has no clue that you have feelings for them. You know, the Chariot in reverse indicates that they feel like you're completely unmotivated. You know, you don't want that new beginning. It's, you know, even though you kind of feel like it's over, they're no longer part of your world, they do think you're pained. They think you're really angry. You feel stabbed in the back and rejected. So this person has no clue that you might actually be harbouring, you know, compassionate, loving feelings for them. So you perhaps really need to kind of take responsibility for that. Maybe you can be the person that can break the ice. But let's get some guidance cards for you as well. And of course some charms. I'm just going to get some guidance tarot cards too, because I feel like you're more in a pickle than many. How do you really feel about this person, pile 3? The Lovers. What are you doing? Why are you being so angry if you want this person? What are these barriers about? Why have you got so many barriers? The Knight of Wands. You're afraid they're a player. You don't want to be played. You don't believe they can offer you a happy ever after. You try not to think about it because you don't want your heart to get broken. And you're still grieving from some other loss or betrayal. I mean, look at this Four of Swords. This is such a powerful card. See this woman with that little tangled heart next to her? You know, she's recuperating from some grief, from some pain, from some kind of loss. So I really feel like as much as you want this person, you're really scared. You're really scared that you're going to be let down again, that you're not going to get what you want. So let's see what the guidance is for you. We've got the Seer. And Wise One. See beyond the current situation and grow within your current situation. So this whole debacle is really asking you to release the lessons that are contained within it. You know, as we say, it makes no logical sense that you care so much about this person. You know, you want them so much, and yet you're so terrified of being real about that and of putting yourself out there in a way which you can get it. But in both of these cases, you're being asked to connect to your higher self. You're being asked to connect to your truth. You're being asked to use this as an opportunity to grow and learn and expand. So, you know, this person might have really triggered you and caused you a lot of pain. But as I said, you're mirroring one another right now. You know, you're teaching one another about yourselves so that you can heal from within. And I really feel like you need to pay attention. There's some very powerful spiritual lessons that are coming up for you here. Right, so we've also got Don't Give Up. I'm just going to give these much easier this way. We've got I'm Trying and That's Enough. And we've got the Two Swords. I'm going to get one more. And that's that paper fortune telling thing. I'm going to bring them up close and show it to you. Oh, and this little heart stayed in my hand. So we're going to keep that one. Look, a little sparkly, shining heart. You can trust in the love in this situation. Don't give up. There's a rainbow here. This is going to be okay. The clouds are going to part. Everything's going to be okay. There is hope for this connection. I feel this is what's saying to you. But with this bumblebee here, there's some work to do. You know, not just for you, but for your person as well. And as I said, for many of you, it could be that they work together. Maybe one of you has been asked to give up. It could be something to do with that as well. So take that message how it fits. But there's work to do here. There's high learning to be doing. And I'm feeling with this bumblebee being surrounded by the dark, this is about confronting your shadow aspects. And look, we've got that Two of Swords here, these two knives. You know, that's indecision. You know, that's a crossroads. That's being unable to move forward because neither party will relent, neither party will compromise. No one wants to offer that olive branch. No one wants to be the one to be vulnerable. So you're going to have to lead by example. You're going to have to be the bigger person here is what I'm hearing. I'm trying my best, and that's enough. And your best is enough. You know, don't beat yourself up. I don't want you sitting here thinking, oh my God, I've done it all wrong. I should have done this. I should have done that. There is no such thing as wrong. There's only lessons. There were no mistakes. Everything's happened as it's meant to, because this is what you're meant to be learning about. And I feel like this one is really relevant. You remember these from when you were a kid, those little paper things you make and you get a different outcome. And I think this just reminds us that, you know, a lot of what's happening is from childhood wounds. It's from inner child wounds. And, you know, you've always got a choice, and you can always change your mind. Do you remember? I remember using these as a kid. You'd open it up and it'd say something like, you're a fat poo head. and you think, I don't like that one, let's do it again. And so you'd count again, wouldn't you? And you'd go through it again. But you always have a choice. You can always choose a different trajectory. You know, nothing is set in stone, is what this is saying to me. So don't pay too much attention, you know, to what's gone and what you know, don't be pessimistic about what's to come. Just trust that everything is going to be okay. You know, that happy and sad, it's all part of growing and learning. So I really hope that helped you, pile 3. Sending you lots of love and thanks for watching my adverts. Even if you only watch one, I appreciate that so much. It really does make a difference to me. And it's a small contribution by way of thanks for the free content I provide. So sending you lots of love. There's no extended today, but I'm going to do another one tomorrow. And I will see you next time. And don't forget to add me on Instagram, Happy Souls 1111. I do post mini reads over there. Okay. Pile 4. Auralite, the Crystal Unicorn Tarot. So that's Amethyst, beg your pardon. So why is your person not communicating? Pile 4. Whilst I shuffle, just to remind you that my classes are going to go live soon. There's not many places left, but you can still grab one. You can find all the information for that on my website, happysouls1111.com. I'm offering classes in mediumship, twin flame healing, how to learn the tarot, all kinds of cool stuff. And there's a couple of webinars which are one-off classes. They're only £11.11 each. Do check those out, because I think they're probably the 2 most worthwhile. I did do a little poll on the community page to see what everyone would prefer, and I've kept the price really low so it's accessible to everybody. But there's one for astral and telepathic communication for twins, and there's also one, how to trust your own higher self and connect with your own truth, your own higher guidance, which I think is a class that everybody should do. It's the most worthwhile thing you'll ever do for yourself. Both of them actually come with a free audio meditation as well, so you can practice afterwards. Anyway, let's do this. Why isn't your person communicating with you? The 3 of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the 5 of Wands in reverse, Temperance in reverse, the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, and the Lovers in reverse. It feels like this person simply isn't ready to be in a relationship. I want to get another card as well so we can understand. Okay. So we've got the Queen of Swords here and the King of Swords came out reversed. So I've asked, why isn't this person ready? And the reality is they're in a lot of pain, and I feel like this person's not long ended a relationship. They're still getting over somebody else, and their rational, logical mind is saying to them, this isn't not going to work. You're not your best self right now. You don't have a lot to offer. There's a lot of stuff going on, and rather than playing games with this person, leading them astray, and then it getting awkward when it gets intense, it's easier just to be on your own right now, just to focus on your own healing. This person's just convinced that they're not ready for that level of fulfillment, that it just can't work for them right now, that they don't have enough to give. They're being very practical, very cold about it. I don't see a lot of emotion here. There's a lot of pain, but this is contained. You know, this is something that this person is working through, and they're in this hermit energy, the power of solitude, this desire to be alone and to work through their pain alone. Temperance reminds us that they're not in balance. You know, they're not feeling their best self. And whilst they're not feeling their best self, they don't want to make any choices in love because they can't trust their own judgment right now. So it does feel like this person's come out of a really messy relationship. You know, their heart is bruised. There's just so much working out to do. And actually, I feel this is a person of high integrity, you know, because I feel like there's a lot of passion, a lot of chemistry between you. But this person didn't want to pursue you, you know, and be dishonest. They didn't want to play games with you. They didn't want to, as I said, lead you up the garden path. You know, they felt it was much better to be honest and to be real and to remove themselves from a situation which they didn't see could prove fruitful. And I'm hearing that you mustn't take this personally, because it's not personal. Yeah, this is all to do with where they're at and their inability to see, you know, what is great about you two as a couple is not personal at all. It's about where they're at in their life and the choices they're making for themselves. Because this person's very disconnected from their heart space. You know, they're in this Queen of Swords energy. And by the way, there is a lot of there's a lot of air energy here. That's Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We've also got Virgo. We've got Gemini here again. So, and Aquarius again. So, you know, there really is a lot of air sign here, which is very practical, very logical, you know, very rational and reason. This person's thinking with their head. Their heart is disengaged from the equation because their heart is in pain. You know, they are stuck in pain. They're still grieving the loss of the ending of something else. And I feel like this situation they were in before was very toxic. You know, it's left them very, very fearful of opening their heart space again. And they just don't think they've got enough to give someone at the moment. So we've got 2 3s out there. So yeah, this was definitely, you know, definitely someone, and there you go, look, Justice. So it could be as well, you know, that for some of them, the problems surrounding that connection are still rumbling on. You know, for some of them, perhaps they haven't quite made that break away from the third party, because we've got Justice in reverse here as well. This is unresolved karma, and they just haven't got back on their feet with it yet with this 9 of Pentacles. You know, this person could also be having financial difficulties. You know, there's just, you know, I'm just feeling money drain away right now, that they're not at all financially stable. And with the King of Cups, so this is really lovely. You know, this does remind us that they do have powerful feelings, but they're sitting on it. You know, they're not communicating it. They're not expressing it. The King of Cups is the king of emotion. I'm very surprised for this to have come up after all of these other cards, which are very much indicating, you know, that kind of disconnect from the heart space. But deep down, this person does care for you, and they know they care for you, but they don't feel able to communicate that to you at the moment. This just isn't the right time for them. They're hurting. You know, they're still reeling from the shock, from the anger, from the grief, from the loss of this other connection. And that could be still very much alive in their life right now. You know, there could still be interactions with this person that are really difficult. You know, relationships can take a long time to close off properly, even when people are in separation. You know, there's that back and forward communication, and usually it's toxic and it's angry, and it's both people trying to come to terms with it. And I do feel like this person's really tangled up in that kind of web. You know, they're really hurting, and they're just very, very stressed, and that makes it very difficult for them to focus on a new relationship. They don't want to give up on you. You know, I feel like they wish they could carry on, but what's really important about this 9 of Wands, ooh, sorry, I nearly fell over. You can see here this unicorn's battered and bruised, it's bandaged. You know, he's just battle scarred right now. You know, he doesn't want to give up, but he does need to pause before he moves forward. Again, this is another number of 9, the power of solitude. You know, that hermit energy. He just needs a bit of time alone just to figure things out and put himself back together before he can start being more available, you know, being more present in another relationship. He's just not ready for that right now. He's bruised. Ace of Swords. Yeah, this is, you know, he I feel like in part this person holds themselves back from communication because the passion is so intense. As I said, they don't want to play games with you. I feel like this person, I feel like they wouldn't be able to control themselves at a physical level. And they don't want to go there with you. They don't want to open that can of worms. They don't want to disrespect you. You know, they know that if they can't offer themselves fully, look at that. They don't want to. They don't want that pain. They don't want that pain to exist between you. They know it's going to hurt you. How do you think you feel about them? The High Priestess. So with this High Priestess, it feels like you've already communicated, your spirituality to this person. It feels like you've already shared a lot of your intuitive hits and understandings about them, about this connection, about light and dark, about healing, about growth, about learning. It feels like you've had quite deep relationships with this person. I feel like this person knows that you're tapped into them intuitively. They feel very understood by you. They feel very heard. But they don't know necessarily that you are thinking about them in a very long-term kind of way. I feel like this person maybe feels like you think they're not good enough, like they've got too much baggage. This person could also have addictions, which could have led to the breakdown of their previous relationship for some of you. It could just be because they're chained to this other connection and there is so much baggage there and they are so stuck that they just see that this would be a massive turn off for you. So I do feel like they know there's a deep connection between you and they don't want to disrespect you or mistreat you or, but they're not ready for that new beginning. They don't know how to move forward. And they kind of tell themselves that, you're perhaps not interested anyway. I feel like they do think about how to come forward. They think about how to apologise. They think, maybe they need to tell you more of the truth. Oh, sorry. I feel for some of you, you may actually get that communication. I feel like this is really playing on this person's mind. I feel like this could definitely be a twin flame connection for some of you because it does feel like there's a very spiritual connection here. It's definitely some kind of soul connection, but I feel like this person cannot get you off their mind. It's that kind of energy of just, even though I know this isn't right for me right now, I can't stop thinking about this person and I've never had, that kind of problem moving on from someone before. I feel like this person's normally quite good at closing off their heart space and just blocking things out. And it feels like they're unable to do that with you. Look at that. They do see you as their divine feminine counterpart. They know there is something very special about you and about this connection. Yeah, you make them really happy. That's beautiful. That's the Sun card. So, oh, hold on. One of these has just fallen over. I'm going to pick it up. Look at that. The 10 of Cups. That just flew out. So this person really does see you as their happily ever after. They're just so tangled up in their own dramas right now. They just feel like it's safer and better to stay away, to stay silent. But as I said, I do think this person's thinking about how to reach out to you. They're thinking about how to communicate. And I think it'll be something really impulsive. I think they'll think about it, they won't do it. And eventually there'll just be a kind of spur of the moment thing, a knee-jerk thing where they reach out and say something probably really flippant and casual and silly. But they're struggling with this no contact as well, even though I do think they're doing it for your highest good. They don't want to make your life any more complicated. I feel like this person, their karmic partner, this ex that they're dealing with could be very, very unpredictable, and they don't want you tangled up in that dramas is what I'm hearing for some of you. But this person really does have big feelings for you. They think about you all the time. So let's get some guidance cards for you as well. What do you need to do? What do you need to move forward for the highest good? The Moon. And the 9 of Cups. Okay, I'm going to get some oracle cards here as well. So, you really need to start trusting your own instincts. You need to really embody that high priest energy that they've already identified in you, because it feels like you've been very triggered lately. Your belief system's been triggered, your faith's been triggered, your spiritual understandings have been triggered, and you're feeling really out of balance emotionally. You're not feeling aligned, you're not feeling your best self. So you really need to prioritize self-care. You really need to prioritize me time. You really need to try and get yourself back into a balanced perspective, because I do feel he's coming back in soon. He's going to reach out, he's going to communicate with you. We've got Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. And we've got Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted. So yeah, this for me is about being grounded. And, for this card to be coming up over the moon, I feel like you need to be more strategic when it comes to your self-care, self-healing and psychic development. It could be that you're perhaps a little bit disorganized, or life is so hectic and so busy that you get carried away with yourself. But there's a need here to have a timetable, to have a routine, to have a disciplined ritual of self-care, self-love, and definitely to feel grounded and to give yourself, this is Mother Earth love. this is Empress love. This is union with self. This is giving yourself all of that love and then seeing how beautifully you transform and grow when you connect with that flow of love inside of you. So let's get some charms for you here as well. Okay, so we've got the bumblebee again for you. We've got save yourself. We've got the ammonite. We have got you're a loser. One more. I love my dogs. That all came up yesterday. I thought it was quite funny. Let me just put all these back. Okay. So the bumblebee, I think this is what it's saying, make plans and focus. You know, this is a time to get to work and start working on your shadow aspects so that you can be ready for a fulfilling relationship when a fulfilling relationship is ready for you. There's a need here to pay attention to divine timing into the lessons that are being presented. For sure there is. And this one, save yourself. You know, no one's going to save you for you. And for some of you as well, I think you've been saving yourself for this person, and that's okay too. You might get, if this is a twin flame, the people around you may not understand that. Your friends and family may think you're being a bit of an idiot. They may shame you for putting yourself out there for someone who doesn't appear to be committing or coming forward. But you know better about this connection. But above all else, I do feel that this is asking you to take care of yourself. You know, to really love yourself, to save yourself from the pain and the suffering that you've faced for a long time, to start focusing on that inner child wounding, because there are self-worth issues here. You know, this is what you're telling yourself, that you're a loser. You know, this is number 3. If you see there on the left, it's got 012 as being the number. That's the number of the Empress, the divine feminine. On the right, there's 401, which reduces to 5. That's the number of transformation and change. So you really need to change this about yourself. You really need to focus on your self-esteem and those self-worth issues that have plagued you for such a long time. And the ammonite for me really reaffirms that. You know, the ammonite, it's a snail, isn't it? It's something we carry. It also carries that weight on its back. And at this, you know, the ammonite being a fossil, you know, this is something you've carried with you for a long time, perhaps through other lifetimes even. There's a lot of pain and suffering that needs to be purged, a lot of inner child wounds that need to be released and healed. There's a need here to reparent yourself, you know, to bring yourself back into balance, to literally save yourself, to focus on your own healing. And again, with that make plans card, I love my dogs. For me, this is about loyalty, you know. It's about loyalty. Dog's a man's best friend. And again, with that save yourself, there's a word about loyalty and devotion there. I'm going to ask you to interpret that message how you want. You know, because I don't think it's right to ask anyone to be devoted to someone who isn't devoted to them. That's a decision you've got to make off the back of your own faith and your own understanding. But certainly here you've had two charms come out relating to loyalty and devotion. But I think also, you know, we could say, be your own best friend. Be loyal and true to yourself first and foremost. So I really hope that helped, Powerful. Sending you lots of love. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching my adverts. Even just watching one of them for 30 seconds makes the biggest difference to me. And it's a small but very generous contribution by way of thanks for the free content I provide. So I thank you so much for that in advance. Sending you lots of love, and I'll see you tomorrow.